Hey everyone, this is Mr. Porter, and I appreciate your guys' concern and your flexibility for not meeting yesterday. I was able to get myself checked out, and things came back negative. And when I woke up this morning, after giving myself a little bit more rest than I normally do, I didn't have any sort of symptoms that I was experiencing Thursday, and so I can't account for it, but I am really glad that and thankful that I was not having to take off multiple days of work and try to do everything remotely. So in any case, let me keep this brief for you all. I made the executive decision as I was looking ahead, and I saw, well, we've got our fiction test planned for our next class session, that to make it easier on you and on me, and the fact that this is homecoming weekend, I simply was not going to put stuff from the yellow wallpaper on our test, at least stuff that you would get right or wrong and it would hurt you. So what I'm actually going to do is take the questions I had planned, or some of the ones I had planned to put on the test for the yellow wallpaper, and make them instead bonus questions. So I know that we have not had a formal lesson over that story, and it's one that I still plan to talk about to some degree when I come together to see you guys again the following Thursday, but you won't be asked any questions about the yellow wallpaper that if you get them wrong, they will count against you. In fact, they'll be bonus type questions. So you're still being rewarded for having done the reading. So please, if you've not read the story yet, please do it, so that you will be all ready to go to answer those bonus questions. So let me talk about the test. The test is over any of the material that we have studied up to this point. And I know for now, in its current form, it's 54 multiple choice questions that are from content that we've already been tested on from quiz number 1, as well as the material we have done since then. So the last thing that you will be tested on is our last class session when we went through the metamorphosis earlier this week. So there are 54 multiple choice questions about the content from all of this stuff from the first class up through class number 10. Okay. Now, at the end of that, there is a 6-point extended response question that I want to show you right now. And yes, I'm actually going to show you what the question is so that you can prepare. So the way it's going to look, it's going to say, hey, this is the extended response section. And these are questions about the death of Ivan Ilyich and the metamorphosis. So you can choose to do either this question, which is labeled letter A, or you can do the second question, which is labeled B, which we'll look at in a second. So it says below are listed various themes from the 2 novellas that we read. Pick 3 of those themes from the lists and explain the themes using details from the plot, and write at least 1 paragraph. That's the minimum to get a passing point or passing score. So you don't have to write all about the ones from the death of Ivan Ilyich, and you don't have to write all ones from the metamorphosis. You can choose to do that if you want to. You can choose 3 from Death of Ivan Ilyich. You can choose 3 of the ones from the metamorphosis and write about those, or you can do a combination of the 2. It's up to you. So there is choice within the choice. So you can choose to do A, where you're writing about themes. And for Death of Ivan Ilyich, we've got greed, mortality, dealing with illness, and empathy. With metamorphosis, we have loss of identity, transformation, family responsibility, and alienation. So that's if you decide to do this one. The other one says below are listed various symbols from the 2 novellas we read. Select 3 of the symbols and explain what they represent using details from the plot. So the other one said the same thing. You can't just say, oh, well, this represents this. You have to explain how you know that, to what degree, what is occurring that proves that that is a symbol. And from the death of Ivan Ilyich, we've got the black sack, the drawing room, the bruise, and Gerasim, the character. And in the metamorphosis, there's the framed print, Greta's violin, the apples, and the world outside the window. And in the notes that we took over both these stories, I talked about symbols in both, and I also talked about the themes in both. So as long as you have access to the notes, you should be good as far as preparing for it. No, you may not use notes during the test, but that is the latter part of the test. And again, after this, there will also be some questions, or just prior to this, there will be some bonus questions that relate to the yellow wallpaper. So you want to make sure that you have read that story so you know or be generally prepared for all the content that will be there. So once again, 54 multiple choice questions and some bonus questions that will appear that relate to the yellow wallpaper, and then you will have to choose to do one of these extended writing responses, either the one that where you're talking about themes or the one that you're talking about symbols, and be able to recall details from the plot to support your answer for those. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. Just know, you will be rewarded for having done that reading on the yellow wallpaper, the story, and let me say one last thing about our schedule before I let you go. So you'll notice that on Thursday of next week, it says Shakespeare, Hamlet, and then it gives you the page number on which Hamlet begins. So this is going to begin our drama unit, and what you need to do, if you look ahead, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 class days planned for Hamlet. I have it that way because Hamlet is divided into 5 acts. So you want to plan for each of those days to read an act. So for our first session together, which will be Thursday of next week, as far as into new content, please make sure you've read Hamlet Act 1 before coming to class. And then the next week will be Hamlet Act 2, the next class will be Hamlet Act 3, and so forth as we work our way through the drama unit. So I think that's all I've got. If you have questions, feel free to email me on Tuesday when you come in. That's all we're doing is the test. So I will probably definitely pray for us all. I'll open up the floor for questions for clarification for anybody who has them. And then you'll commence with the test. And when you finish, you can turn it in and you can leave. And that's how the day will go. And then when I see you on Thursday for a regular full class day, you should have read Act 1 of Hamlet, which is on page 1396 in the textbook. So that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoy homecoming weekend. I'm meeting up with some friends this weekend I haven't seen in a while. And you may or may not see me around campus. I may take in a couple of things. So that's all I've got, and hope you have a good time. I will see you for sure in class next Tuesday.